Hello, welcome to my channel. As you can see, I'm back in the kitchen. My husband's home and in the other room, so I thought I would just come in here and do the meditation. I'm not sure what I want to do this morning with to open this up. The thing is I've been very, very confused. My energy's feeling discombobulated, and don't ask me to spell that, please. But I am just kind of hanging in there and just kind of trying to do my thing. But so I brought my dowsing rods, I brought my pendulum, and I brought the Oracle of Mystical Moments with me to see if I could feel inspired to do something. And what I'm feeling drawn to is the dowsing rods, which for whatever reason, I tried them last night and they didn't really work so well. So I'm really wondering if these squeaky things are going to actually work today. So I'm going to first center myself and say, okay, please let this be of the light and only the light, and please watch over this channel and all of the people who watch it. Thank you. And I'm going to do this. I'm going to see if Sunshine wants to talk to me. So, Sunshine, can you show me yes, please? Sunshine, can you show me yes? Or will you show me yes? Okay, now I'm getting it right. Okay, thank you. Okay, these things squeak a little bit, so this is like really kind of weird. But anyway, Sunshine, show me no. Sunshine, show me no, please. Okay, she likes to hit with these, but anyway. So, Sunshine, I'm feeling disorder in the universe. Will this disorder cease to be, and will things get back to some semblance of normalcy in the coming, I don't know, 1 month or 2 months? Will we see a shift in the energies? Will we see a shift in the energy in the next month or so? Okay. She's saying yes. Okay, thank you. Okay, she likes to hit me with these things. Sunshine, do you like to hit me with these things? Yes, you do. Okay, thank you. So this isn't exactly working as I had intended, but that's okay. One of the things I wanted to ask is, will the leadership in the U.S. change in the next 3 months? Will the leadership in the U.S. change in the next 3 months? Okay, she doesn't want to answer. Okay, so we'll just leave it at that. Okay, so I gave an attempt with the rods. I'm not really that good with the rods. I'm still a beginner with it, so I'm just, I like them. I like working with the pendulum a little bit better. Nigel seems to be really, really good at helping me with this, so I'm just going to try something here. As a spinning round and round means that he's ready for a question, and it seems like on the video itself, it seems like the pendulum spins a lot faster than it actually does here, so we'll see what happens here. First of all, Nigel, show me yes, please. Nigel, please show me yes. Okay. Forward and back is yes. Okay, thank you. Nigel, please show me no. And side to side is no. And he's saying no. Okay, thank you. So, okay, are you ready for question? Nigel, will there be an energy shift in the next 3 months in the world? Will there be an energy shift in the next 3 months? And he's still just not answering. Okay, thank you. Will the power structure in the United States change in the next, let's just say, 2 months? Will their power structure in the U.S. change in the next 2 months? And he's saying yes. Yes, it will. Okay, thank you. Okay. Nigel, will Congress go to the Democrats, the House of Representatives, will it go to the Democrats? Will it shift to the Democrats this year? And it looks like he's saying maybe. Nigel, clear, please. Thank you. Will the Senate go to the Democrats in 2026? Will the Senate go to the Democrats in 2026? And there's a more definite yes, it will. Okay. Okay, thank you. Clear. Nigel, will the House of Representatives go to the Democrats in 2025 this year? Will the House leadership change in the House of Representatives in the U.S.? Okay. It's saying maybe, but I'm not really sure. Okay. Well, that was just an attempt to see if it would work. So, yeah. Okay, so I'm going to go into the meditation now. I'll go ahead and read through the meditation. I'm not going to pull the card. I might pull a card at the end. See what happens. But at any rate, today's day number 12. It's March 24th, 2025. And I start out with saying, so yesterday was lovely. When we went for a walk, we both noticed that nature was somehow offering a great deal of positivity towards us. And Sunshine says, as it should. But at the start of your walk, you were unsettled. There was something that you saw yesterday that left you feeling unhappy. I said, yes, something I saw on social media left me to wonder about what the hell is going on. Please excuse my language, but what I saw left me so angry and heartbroken that I felt the tightness in my chest. I wanted to cry, but I knew that if I started, I would not stop. Sunshine says, it is heartbreaking time, Yvette. We are watching it play out. I said, is there something I can do? I mean, I know that there is little I can do, but maybe that is why I feel so heartbroken. I just can't stand to see people treat others so horribly. Sunshine says, it's called compassion, Yvette. You have so much of it. You feel the pain and anguish that those men face. You are seeing real time in the evil and darkness that encapsulates people. You no longer wish to call it humanity because there is nothing humane about what is happening. The reality is that so many unjustified evils are happening in the world, and many of them are saying that it is all about religion. I said it's like every time I see some blonde Barbie wannabe walking around with a cross necklace around their neck and making evil and soulless comments, I just want to scream. It is people like this who have turned me off to religion. And Jesus comes in and says, you never followed a church, Yvette. You did follow me, however. I told him, I said, I will follow you anywhere, Jesus. I just don't want to be associated with modern-day Christianity. Most of the evangelicals seem to have lost the plot. I know that there is more to it than just flaunting a cross necklace, but when I see this, I just feel angry. Hate and vengeance is not the point. And Jesus said, it never was. But getting upset with hypocrites is not going to do any good. Many of the people who are doing these actions are truly no better than the ones who put the crown of thorns on my head. The notion of feeling sadness or allowing the anger to fill you is like allowing yourself to experience darkness. It is akin to Ramon telling you that you should not watch the video about the actress and the ghosts in her house. The significant idea here is that people must listen to their guardians or spirit. At the very least, they must also hear their conscience. The man who wrote Amazing Grace was a slave trader. Did he recognize that what he was doing to other human beings was wrong? People try to use faith to justify shaving men's heads or bringing harm to a group of people, yet there is no justification for it. But yet there is where that is where humanity is. I said, this is why I have a hard time believing that you died for our sins, as the church presents. And Jesus said, I died because people were ignorant. They feared the things I said. They feared that a lowly carpenter from Jerusalem could take away their power, blame it on others for their shortcomings, and then ending their lives as a means in which people will try to justify where their moral shortcomings were. By not speaking the names of these evildoers, what you are doing is recognizing their evil without adding the identifier of who they are. You are recognizing that evil for what it is, but would be doing them no favors by mentioning their name. By not affixing a code name to them, you are further showing that they are simply not important enough to give them any sort of recognition. That is why the consistency in your meditations have remained. You have outright refused to acknowledge them in the way in which they want to be acknowledged. Let them stew about it. But when the day ends for them, then one can only ask them, what have they to show for it? And I said, they have nothing to show for it, only darkness and chaos. Jesus said, exactly. In our discussion, you said that you were saddened by the events playing out in Central America. And I said, yes, Jesus, will those poor men be okay? And Jesus said, they are always in the hands of Spirit. I said, I know that, but will they make it out of there and get back to their families and friends? And Jesus said, yes, they will make it out back home. But their spirits will be tarnished, and they will need the help of their friends and loved ones and communities to heal. Healing does not simply lie in court case, you understand, but it lies in the ability to come to terms with what has transpired in their lives. The universe does have great things in mind for these remarkable human beings. One in particular will stand out as a beacon of hope for his family and community. I said, will there be justice for them? I don't mean money, but I mean in terms of the wrongs against them being made right. And Jesus said, it is already happening. The answer is yes, there will be justice for them. But remember, the earthly judges and the universal judges are two distinctly different things. The walls of corruption will crumble to the ground. The imprisoned, as in the sense of unjustifiable imprisonment, will be free. The evildoers will meet their karma, and when people speak up against this evil, they will be heard. I said, will the people stay apathetic about politics? And Jesus said, no, they will rise up. Keep in mind, they are already starting to do so. The time will come when people will have no other alternative but to recognize the apathy brought that evil out into the open. When humanity sees that all people, regardless of color, persuasion, creed, or ideology, are the same, and their physiology is the same, then humanity will be one step closer to what some call Earthtopia. I said, why doesn't the universe do something now? Sunshine says, it's free will, Yvette. Jesus can't do anything about free will. If God tried to step in to help people change course, do you know what would have ultimately happened? I said, yeah, the evildoers would try to use that to justify their own evil. And Sunshine says, yes, that, or they would call that evil or against religion. You have often complained about religion and it being dark. Well, in some respects, religion has been overtaken by the notion of evil. False prophets are now cropping up and claiming that Jesus or the Creator supports their actions based solely on interpretation. The problem is that written holy book today was written by a gazillion years ago by men. There's a masculine lean in everything they say, and one of the things they have convinced themselves of, is that women are under the dominion of men. Why else do you suppose there was only one woman in Jesus' life, and that all of his disciples were men? I said that always seemed weird to me. Why only men? Jesus said, because during my time men were more out in the public than women were. The problem is most historical figures were the men. Very few people knew about the women of spiritual significance. The early writers and other deep thinkers were all men. But believe me, there were also great female warriors, writers, and intellectuals. The books were written by men. That is one of the reasons that human history has put men on a pedestal and not the women. One day there will be changes made, and great women in history will not be shoved to one side. And I said, this is why it breaks my heart to hear that people are trying to reinvent history to their liking. Jesus said they will ultimately fail. Just as native legends tell us, the female heroines will continue to be recognized and elevated. Just because one man is so insecure about his masculinity does not mean that the whole of the human history will be forgotten. I said, yes, but I will ultimately no longer be here. My generation and the older generations will evolve and transition. If they stop teaching the correct history, then people will forget. Jesus said, no, they won't. Trust me. They will not forget. One day people will dust off those old history textbooks and recognize that not only had they been duped, but they will not take kindly to being lied to by a bunch of empty-headed men. I said I never thought I would hear Jesus say something like, quote, empty-headed men, unquote. Jesus said, why not? Even in my day, I called things like they were. That was why people feared me. The history of your people will not be rewritten, but instead it will be shared, and those who try to reinvent it will soon discover that just because they call it the Gulf of America doesn't mean that that is what it is. History is the one thing that will remain intact, and even after all of this is done, these people who have created their own versions of history will find themselves in the history books, but will be on a par with the great evildoers of humankind. Perhaps in trying to rewrite history, they are merely trying to downplay their own roles in it. History is not kind, it is not forgiving, and it does not forget. I said your words in God's ear, and God says, you called? And I said, okay, it was just a figure of speech, but since I got you here, please watch over those poor men in that prison camp in Central America. And God says, I am, Yvette. I am watching with them at every minute of every day. I said, thank you. And he said, and God said, that's what I am here for, beloved. Sunshine says, you see, now you can have the attention of the head honcho and Honcho Jr. Things will be okay. And Jesus says, Honcho Jr.? And I said, oh, don't mind her. She's bringing the levity. And Sunshine says, as always. I said, thank you all for being here, for listening to me vent about this. I do feel better now, much better than you can imagine. And God says, oh, we can. And Yvette, remember this. I know you feel such empathy for others, but when you cannot help them directly, the best thing you can do is release it to those of us who can. And I said, I will try to remember that. And God said, do so. It will enable you to live longer. I said, okay, I love you all. And Jesus says, and we all love you. Remember, we are always here for you when you need us. All that you must do is simply say, call us, and we will be there for you. I said, I'm hearing the song, You've Got a Friend in My Mind. And Sunshine says, and what an appropriate song to end on. And I said, indeed. And that's the end of the meditation. So, yeah, I had been thinking about everything that's been going on, specifically about these poor men who have been sent to El Salvador. And my heart breaks for them. It's totally shattered for them. And I hope, and my thoughts are with them, and I hope that they will find strength to but get through this terrible travesty that they must endure. And I will hold them in the light and keep them there until they're home with their families and friends. So, with that said, yes, I'm a little bit dark today, but it is what it is, and I've been reassured that that history will speak kindly to those who deserve it, but it will also speak unkindly to those who also deserve their role in history. So, thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening, and I wish you a wonderful day. I'm going to pull a card. I'm just going to pull one card and see what it says, because I think I need it. And here it is. Day and night. And I think that sums up how I feel. When I first started, I was feeling very sad and very despondent, and now I feel a lot better. So hopefully this will bring you a little bit of enlightenment, or at least an enlightened feeling. And I wish you a wonderful day. Take care. And as always, namaste.